We're actually starting on time today. Brunch with Brian. Yes. What makes it real? Okay, there's a couple of places where it gets real in the real estate investing business. The two places it gets real is filling out paperwork. I mean, that's what closes the deal. Getting their signature on that piece of paper, that's what clinches it. So the paperwork is where the rubber meets the road, where you've got to understand the basic paperwork. Then where does the rubber meet the road in terms of you is your schedule. So your schedule makes it real. So who has a written out schedule? Does everybody have a written out schedule? A schedule that says when your work, I want everybody to put in at least 5 hours a week. So 5 hours to 10 hours a week will get you deals. Okay. I mean, this is a business where you don't have to, it's not a grinding business. I mean, if you get one deal a month, you're doing great. So put in 5 hours a week, and if you're doing the right things, that should lead to about one deal a month. Okay, so but you got to make sure you're being effective with your schedule and your 5 hours. But let me just talk about paperwork because I talked about paperwork on our Teaching Tuesdays this week. So let me just cover very briefly, if you missed that, what is a buying packet? I talked about this last week, but this is so important. I'm going to cover it again. Just 3 pieces of paper: standard purchase and sales agreement, authorization to release the info, and if there's a mortgage on the house, lender change of address letter. Okay, that's it. That's the 3 pieces of paper you need to get signed out there. Now, if you are doing a sandwich lease purchase, you don't sign a purchase and sale agreement. You sign a lease with option agreement. That's the only difference. And sometimes there are reasons. What are the 3 main reasons to do a sandwich lease purchase? Instead of just doing, usually it's get the deed or get the door. Normally we're going in there with a purchase and sale agreement. We want to buy that house. All right, but what are the main 3 reasons why you might do a sandwich lease purchase? Okay, number 1 is sometimes they want a big down payment. So if they're going to sell you the house on seller financing, give you the deed so that you own the house, they want 20% down or 10% down, and they get a number stuck in their head. And then you say, okay, I understand that. Sometimes what we do is we do a sandwich lease purchase where we're lease purchasing it from you, renting to own it from you, and then turning around and doing a rent to own. So usually when we do that, we usually pay first and last month's and a security deposit. Does that sound good? Would you be okay with that? All right, so basically it's negotiating a smaller down payment. That's number 1. Number 2 is if you have high transfer taxes in your state. In Florida, they're called dock stamps. They're called different things in different areas, in different states, basically. But whatever your transfer taxes are called. Now, we're really lucky on that. There is none. Basically, the only costs to buying a house in Arizona are 2 recording fees. One is $15 and one is $2. So you can buy a house for $17 in Arizona, but a lot of states have pretty high transfer taxes, 2 or 3%. And if you don't want to pay those, you can do a sandwich lease purchase. The only other reason that we do sandwich lease purchases is if the seller is really freaked out about the due on sale clause. Normally you can explain that to people's satisfaction, so they let go of it. They understand the mortgage company doesn't want a house. But if people just get hung up on that, that's the 3rd reason. So in that case, if you do a sandwich lease purchase, that's when you would use a lease with option agreement instead of the standard purchase and sale agreement. Okay. So make up 5 buying packets. You just need 3, you just need to buy some letter size manila envelopes, print those 3 docs off and stick them in there. Okay. Now remember, I redid the standard purchase and sale agreement to make it letter size. It's a lot easier to work with, and it doesn't hang out the ends of your file folders. So I do like that letter size. Now, what about selling? Okay. 3 documents to sell. Lease. Now the lease just has the rules of the lease pretty much, and there's no real money figures in there except it does say in there they're supposed to carry $300,000 in liability coverage, okay, which is important. All right, so that one, you got a lease agreement. And remember, when we're doing a lease agreement with somebody, we want the lease and the option separate. When we're buying with a lease option, it's one agreement. It's called the lease with option, and it's together. But when we're selling on lease option, we want those separate. So if we have to evict, we can go into court and just show the lease. And usually they don't show up. And so you just show the judge your lease and they say, okay, they're evicted. All right, now, if you have, here's the paperwork that you need for that. You need your, when you are lease optioning it to someone else, you need your lease agreement. That's called the real property possession and lease agreement. It's kind of a wordy title, but that's how you look it up. Real property possession and lease agreement. So it's under R, okay? And then what's after that? After the real property possession and lease agreement, you need the lease rider, because that lease agreement is just about the rules of the lease. It doesn't say anything about how long the lease is for or what the monthly payment is. That's what the lease rider is for. So the lease rider is one page. It's very simple, and it just says how much the monthly payment is and how long the lease is for. It starts on May 1st, 2024, and ends on April 30th, 2025. That's how we normally write them, 1 year. Okay, so you get 1 year on the lease, 1 year on the purchase option agreement. So that's the lease rider. And then the last document you get is the purchase option agreement. And what are the two terms? Remember, when we buy, we have to write out those 4 terms. When we sell, we have to write out those 4 terms. What are the 4 terms of creative financing deals? Purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, down payment. Purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, down payment. It's very easy to remember, guys, right? So you got, it's almost like a little poem. Purchase price, length, purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, down payment. So on the lease outside, we're putting the lease amount and the lease length on the lease rider. So what has to go on the purchase option agreement? How much the non-refundable option is, non-refundable option deposit. Remember, non-refundable option deposit, the NROD we call it. So it says how much the NROD is, and it also says how much the purchase price is if they buy it in the next 12 months. Okay, it also has a date on there. Now, if you look at the original agreement, it's possible you don't have dates on there. I added a time frame on there, okay, because there wasn't a time frame built in there. Now I just say it's a 12-month time frame, okay, and that's written in there if you have the most current agreement. If you have an older one, you should probably put in there that this agreement is for 12 months, because it's not in there unless you have my version. All right, so that's it, guys. That's all the paperwork you need to do this business. Now, they have to go in a week later and sign some more documents with the attorney. The attorney knows, or the title company, they know what closing docs they need to transfer the title. Okay, so that's what they're accomplishing for you. They know what you need filled out. You just got to get the docs I just talked about filled out and let your attorney handle the rest of them. Now, your attorney doesn't even have to fill out any other docs than what you do with your lease purchase buyer, but there is one thing called the lessee optionee acknowledgments. Okay, that's a pretty involved form, and technically it's supposed to be notarized. So when you have and yes, we would like you to go have your lease purchase tenant buyers go in for a real professional signing, especially if they're giving you a big whopper 10 or 20 or 15, 15 or 20 or more $1,000, because that will look more professional. If it ever comes to a court case later, you don't want them to say, oh yeah, I gave him $20,000 in a Starbucks. You want to say, I went in and I signed and the attorney explained everything and I gave him $20,000. Okay, so that protects you. And in that appointment with your attorney, they should sign the lessee optionee acknowledgement form, which is notarized. Okay, it's a lot today, a lot of nitty gritty, right? I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road. Hey, KJ, full of hearts. KJ has a big heart. Good morning, Memo. Good to see you. Good to see you, Don. Don's such a sweet person. He sent me such a nice card. Tony Stewart, how you doing, Tony? That was Donald Green, actually. We'd love to hear you address the growing pre-foreclosure market. Okay, guys, I want you to be aware of that pre-foreclosure market. Remember, you can buy houses before they go into foreclosure. I would rather have you buy them from the seller than try to buy them from a bank later and have to pay cash. If you can get them from the seller, and this is a really good lead because all you got to do normally is catch up the mortgage a few payments and they give you the house for nothing down. So I really want you to tune into that pre-foreclosure market. That's a really good point, Tony. I'll talk about that next week. How's that? All right. Who do we got? Good morning, Charles. You're always so good about wishing everybody. Um, Purchase price. Oh, PMLD. I never thought about that. I never actually did an acronym. You know what? Yeah, we should do that. PMLD, length of term and down payment. Okay. Oh, good job, Isabel. She's been traveling and she made it home. She had a busted down truck. Now she's made it to her destination. Okay. And let's see, who else do I have here? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. Hey, guys, I love it when you talk to each other. And I know Caleb does a really good job of that. And he will reach out and do direct messages to other people or Facebook messages. So I think that's great, guys. When you talk to each other, that's building the community is always awesome. Yes. Okay. Greetings. Hey, Noel and Kathy. Great to see you. Hey, good acronym. There you go. All right. You know what? Now on that acronym, a good thing to do is like place my, I don't know, place my, I don't know, think of something that you can remember easily. Party more, longer, until you die. I don't know. All right, think of something. Okay, that's funny. But think of acronyms are great. I love acronyms, and they do really help you remember things. Important ideas. So today we talked about paperwork, guys. That's it. I mean, that's where all you got to do is say some words on the phone until they say yes. Go over there, bring that paperwork over there, have them sign it. Follow your deal meeting script and follow your closing call scripts, and you can make this happen. Now you got all the paperwork you need. All right, so great to see everybody today. What's our affirmation for today? It's, I love paperwork. Guys, I love paperwork because what does that mean? If you're to the paperwork stage, that means you got somebody who's giving you a yes, at least tentatively, and you got a hot deal going. So I love to get to that paperwork phase. I love filling out paperwork because it means we're close. Okay, so I love paperwork. Okay, everybody on three. 1, 2, 3. I love paperwork. I love paperwork. I love paperwork. Yeah. All right, let's start deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Good. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Let's really flush our system. Ready? Super deep breath. Oh, good. Get a weight down in the bottom of your lungs and exhale. Sometimes you have air in the bottom of your lungs that doesn't get recycled. So let's really take a deep breath. Good. And let it go. Awesome. All right. Great deep breaths. Great day. Good focus this morning. I could sense it. So let's have a great day today and let's go out there and get some deals. So until I talk to you tomorrow, what are you going to do? You're going to keep expecting success. You're going to keep getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple and taking action.